Hi, welcome to Dot and Concept YouTube channel. I am Rahul, your host for today's session. I am IT professional, blogger, and a research scholar. This is a web API tutorial series, and this video is part 3 of this series. So, in this video, we will learn implementing basic beer authentication in a web API application. Okay, so let me set the context first. In previous videos, we started with creating a MVC application, then we created a web API application, and we consumed web API into our MVC application. Then in later part, uh, we want now to add authentication to our web API. So this is a practical session, and we will use our existing web API and MVC applications. And in this video, we will demonstrate authentication using authorized attribute, that is a built-in attribute that is used for authentication and authorization. Later, we will also create a custom authentication filter and implement bearer authentication. So authentication is very much required in web API if you'll see the security part, because if you have not implemented any authentication in your web API, then it can be consumed by any client. Anyone can just use your web API URL and they can get all the data and all the things what you are exposing. So to allow a specific user, you must have to implement authentication in web API so that they can be secure and you can only provide to those users which you want to provide it. Okay, so I think we are good to go here, and we'll see the practical sessions and how to create web API authentication and how to implementing it. We will see basic this thing also. So let's begin. Okay, so last video we saw like how to create a MVC application and web API application. We created a web API and MVC application there. Okay, in this video we will add your authentication and we will test it. So let me add authorize attribute. So authorize attribute is basically a inbuilt filter that is used for authentication. Okay, it is provided by MVC. So let me run it first. Okay, and let me close other tabs till this is loading. Okay, so it's taking some time. Okay, it has loaded. So we'll see that it is throwing an error, that is null reference exception. This is throwing because we have not handled the exception and now model has no data. So in last video you saw that it was working fine, but now it is not working. So let's make it a single startup project so that you can see like what is the problem. Okay, now again run it. Okay, so here I will explain like what is the problem. Let's call the API employee API / employee. Okay, so you will see what was the problem. See here, authorization has been denied for this request. This is the reason MVC application was not getting any data. Okay, Okay, now this is because we have implemented this authorize attribute, and that way it is throwing authorization has been denied for this request because we have not authorized this API. Okay, so let's delete this. Okay, just delete it from here as well. So now basically you now understand like why it was throwing error, just because my API was not authorized. So now let's create a folder. Okay, basically we want to create a custom filter for this authorization, and we will show your beer authentication that we will create. Okay, now let's create a new folder for filters. Okay, and now I will create a class for my custom authentication, new item from class here. Okay, now let's name it as custom authentication attribute. Okay, so here is my class. So I already have a code, so I will just copy paste here, and then I will explain you what it is doing and why it is doing. Just remove it, and okay, so this code I have written to save time. I'm just adding it. Filters, we just add the reference of HTTP action context, so it is come from web HTTP controllers. Okay, let me add this. Then I am using principles, so let me add security.principle. Okay, then thread. Okay, it should be from system dot, then threading. Yes, let's add one or two more. Okay, .NET and create response should come from, okay, next HTTP. So I think I have added all the references and we are good to go now. Okay, so here I have created a custom authentication attribute that is inheriting authorization filter attribute. This is the default, inbuilt authorization, and we have to override on authorization method. Okay. So it is here, so you can see HTTP action context that we are passing here in this method. Sorry. For understanding, I'm just writing here like override on authorization method from this attribute is copy and paste here. Okay, so now you can see here that it is coming from HTTP context, so action context dot request and then header, and so it will get all the collection of HTTP request header, and here we have authorization, so we are just getting and setting the authorization header. So while we are calling the web API, so we add few things, add few parameters in your header. So same we are testing here. So we have it is testing like the parameter of authorization. So whatever information we are passing as a authorization parameter, so that it will get here. So all this data come in header. Okay, now let's decode it, and this code will decode the value Okay, it will decode like what token we got in authorization parameter, so it will basically decode it. Okay, so here we are using this form base 64 string, and here is this. Okay, so basically the authentication token has come from this authorization parameter, and that we are decoding, and now we will use it here. So we are decoding it and we are splitting this value. Okay, because we have passed user ID and password, username and password that we saw in last video. So same, we are just splitting it. So first is password, first is user and second is password. So it has come as a array. So now we are just adding this to generic identity username. Okay, and if it is not there, if authorized user is not there, user is not authorized, so we are adding error to the response, and we are just creating an response and we are adding unauthorized 401 error. Okay, so we are adding 401 error in the response, and that will be throw. And if authorization is not here, if you have nothing in authorization, so again we are throwing same error. We are adding 401 error in response. Okay, and here it is. So again you can see here 401 error. Okay, and here is the authorized user method that we were calling in above method. Okay, so it has username that will come from here. Okay, then password that comes from here. So basically it has created an array which has username and password, and now we are just validating it. You can just change these things as per your requirement. We are just, for demo purpose, we have this hard coded it here. So it will return a boolean, and according to the response it will act. Okay, so now we will use this here. Now we are going to use it here, filters dot custom authentication. So we saw initially that we use authorize filter, but now we are using our custom filter. Okay, and it has bearer type of authentication. Let me add it for both. Okay, now it has both methods. Okay, now let's go to home controller and add code to implement authentication. So let's add it in get employee method. Okay, so here you have URL, and okay, let's add it here. So these all code I have written before to save time. I am just demonstrating how we will do this. Okay, so basically this is a dummy bearer. We have hard coded the input and we are passing your username and password as input. Okay, authorization, not authorization, headers, parameters. Okay, so here it is input like test and pass. So test is username and pass is password. Okay, so now it will create an array. So it will convert into byte. Now here is the input. Now we are just passing this byte to this. Okay, we are just adding this value to client in authorization head part. We are adding parameters to authorization head part. Okay, so it is equal to HTTP this, then authorization header value, and here we have schema. It has two things, like let me show you. It has two things. First is your scheme, and second is parameter. Oh yeah, second is parameter. Okay, so scheme is bearer, and the value we are just passing from here. Okay, we are passing scheme as bearer and parameter, or you can say a token as the encrypted value. Okay, it will be the combination of username and password which we will retrieve in API. Okay, so this is basically encrypted. Here it is. Yes, so here you can see that it is encrypted and we are passing this value. Okay, let's change it. Okay, it is encrypted. So here is, you can see it is encrypting the value. Okay, so now we are just calling the result and get a sync and success. Here we are just converting it. These all we have learned in last video as well. Okay, so now let's change it. Okay, set multiple project, start and apply. Okay, now let's run the application and let's see how it behaves. Okay, so it is loading. Let it load. And now because we have hard coded the value, so it will pass the value here and see, you can see the data. Okay, you can see the data here. Okay, let's call home get to and see. You can see the error null reference exception in get method. This is because we have not implemented this authorization in get employee by ID method. So let me add it here also. So for demo purpose I have this added here as well, and let's run it again. Okay, let it be loading. Okay, now you can see the value here. Let's click on this. Okay, value has been loaded, data has been loaded. Now we want to try home get to. It should load again. See, now it has started loading. It is not throwing any error because now it is authenticating. So let's see y1 now as well. So now you can see that data has been loaded successfully. Okay, so in this video we see that how we implemented authentication in web API. Thank you. Hi, thank you for watching our video. Hope you like this. If you like it, so please like and share the video on your social network, and if you have not subscribed our channel, so please subscribe the channel as well. You will get more videos in coming days. You can also connect with us using a .NET Concept site. There you can find many articles and videos, and you can also connect with us on Facebook page and on Twitter handle. Thank you.